Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
You have on eye makeup today.
I have on eyeliner, yeah.
Yeah, and I you know what? I hate to be this guy, and I know it's 2022.
You're being him.
But I think we should start requiring everyone here to wear makeup. It just looks better.
I'll do it if Tom does it.
Yeah, I'm wearing makeup today. I have a little bit of MAC. It's called MAC Pro Shine, and I just put it on me when I know I'm going to be on camera so I don't get, like, glossy.
Do you do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I made all of that. I absolutely do. But the product is legit.
I was ready to buy it.
That was a legit product.
Very
It's called
convincing.
MAC Cosmetics Pro Shine. That's a real thing. I have used it when I thought 10 years ago I wanted to be a YouTuber. You know, I'm always on the cusp. I'm always an early adopter, but never talented enough to do what these people do. But I bought a thing of MAC Pro Shine, and I would put it on my face when I would do remember the music videos I would do? Where I'd review different CDs or my 5 CDs of the week.
I never watched that.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't think you were doing it for me to watch.
I wasn't, but then he also was the guy that said, you know what, those videos you do, the music ones, the ones I never watch, you should stop doing those because you work really hard on those and no one cares. And he was right. He's absolutely right.
I was saying the company doesn't care.
They didn't.
But
you didn't either, and I didn't know that at the time, but now I know.
The listeners care, you know what I'm saying? But I assumed you thought the company cared.
I
and
did.
Would somehow,
But they didn't. Because companies don't care.
No, they don't care about
You know who
anything.
cares? Mike and Kenny, they care. And they're here on our couch.
I feel like half our demographic doesn't even know what CD is anymore.
Yeah.
We might as well be talking about Peaches Records.
Yeah,
we can
kind of weave this in. CDs, old technology, new technology, the metaverse, new technology, NFTs. Everybody hears about it, and go ahead, Tom.
Oh, Kenny Lester and Mike Sancho are here on the couch, and the reason you're here is because our original sales guy. I don't think we ever talked about our original sales guy.
Can you come in? Or you don't have to be on camera.
Butler?
Before Butler, we had
This is original Butler. Don't say his name.
Oh yeah.
This is BB. Before Butler.
He never came on the air or anything.
No. And he's not British. Which is one of the reasons why he might have worked out.
Actually, was the reason we started working with Red Cypress Brewery.
Yeah.
They
Look
closed
how that
down.
turned out.
Yeah, they I don't know if you know, they closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red
A couple years
Cypress.
ago, yeah.
I believe
It
you
was
were
fine though. It was
I
good. It was a
believe
good
you were
relationship.
instrumental to John the Alarm Guy.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
That was.
Haven't made one of those in a while. One of those jokes.
I think it was my bad. I can't remember. It's
Well, the whole thing it all went real bad.
Yeah.
By the way, I'd like to tell our guest, you're in the finest studio money can buy. When Javier is outside, he's a lovely man. But every time Javier knows that we have guests in town, he comes, he says, oh, they got wrestlers. And he comes right up to the door and he's like blowing and he just stands there and he's trying to peek and see who we have.
So let's talk about transitioning into your new business, and we'll talk about that. But you guys were and still are in the wrestling industry.
So I still dabble in the wrestling industry. Took some time off, had a knee surgery over the past year, and really went ahead and started focusing on transitioning out. You're never really out completely, but we started having everything with the metaverse started coming on very strong.
Yeah.
Technology's been looking like it was going to be there for a long time, actually, as far as people are looking at something such as a Web 3.0 experience. A lot of people ask what Web 3.0 means. That means it's pretty much you guys are on the cusp of Web 3.0. You guys
I knew it.
I knew we were on the cusp.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be in the cusp.
I feel so cuspy right now. I feel so cuspy.
Feels
great.
You guys
I'm
have
cusp 2.0.
Yeah.
you guys have direct contact with your fans, with your community. You guys went from being kind of behind the fourth wall of the traditional radio to actually having a full-fledged interaction where they can reach out to you guys for better or worse. It's almost like they're always in the same room as you
You should
guys.
write all this down because Kenny's pitch is better than ours with clients.
And they reach out, but I don't reach back.
Yeah, no. It's too much
Never
reach
got
out.
to
Too much reach around gets
Yeah.
everybody.
Exactly.
I keep my distance from our listeners. They are
Me
horrible.
too.
They're
Corona.
horrible
There's a
people.
virus out there killing people.
Hey, I probably had the worst experience from a listener getting too close out of everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Let's remember.
He has
Hold
history
on.
with us.
Oh, I had a listener pull a gun and stick it in my ribs one one
Yeah.
time.
I had a guy sexually assault me one time.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
behind
hold
him.
on. The gun
Me
is
too.
worse.
I slept with a listener's wife as he recorded it on videotape.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan?
No. We actually talk about Hogan and his big thermos, and he ate too much ziti.
Did you see
Remember
that?
that? He was like, oh, I ate too much lasagna.
Did you see that new documentary about that whole
I
the
just want to
Gawker
watch.
case and
I just
stuff?
want to watch
Is Tuttle in it?
No.
No,
It wasn't
no,
about
no.
Hulk Hogan, but it was about how billionaires try to shut down media
Yeah.
that they don't
Oh,
like, and they
gotcha.
use
It
like
was the
Hulk
Gawker
Hogan.
case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it started with the Gawker, but apparently it's other people have been like they'll just buy up an entire newspaper and shut it down if they're like
Bradley
yeah.
Cooper did that.
Yeah. You could do it easily. Like, apparently, newspapers have no money. They can easily be bought out and shut down. Anyway, so like, where do you even start with getting into the metaverse? And then we'll go into selling real estate on the metaverse, which is even more confusing. And
It is, but I know a lot of famous people that own real estate in the metaverse, namely Snoop Dogg, I guess.
Absolutely.
Snoop Dogg has been snatching
Well, he's
metaverse.
doing everything,
like,
right?
No. Like, from what I have heard, Snoop is like all in on
He
it.
lives
and
in the metaverse.
But he is buying. Like, he's going to end up being like, pardon for those that are
real
triggered,
estate
but like
mogul.
the Trump of, he's going to have it all.
Slumlord of the
And he'll put a
metaverse.
Snoop here and a Snoop there. And
Snoop Tower.
if he were smart, and maybe he's already thought of this, I mean, when you're selling digital weed, you have all these little digital dispensaries that are all on Snoop's grounds all throughout the metaverse. Weed 3.0. Digital weed.
So
I don't know how it works. I haven't fleshed out the details
does it
yet.
get you high? Because that's the only thing I
It
care
only
about.
gets your avatar high.
No.
It only gets your whatever that
Yeah, the
what is
floating
that?
torso?
Yeah, whatever the me with no legs,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah.
people are trying to grab my tees.
So how did this even come about? Like, how do you transition into selling real estate on the metaverse and all that?
So the first thing that needed to happen was people started coming up with the concept of let's go ahead and start with technology with VR goggles. This is all computational media, such as what's going on with YouTube and the internet, how big jumps were being able to be made by people to interact more efficiently and be able to reach people with a farther reach.
Oh.
And as that started to happen, now we're reaching the point to where the industry is going to, okay, this is cool, but how does it really work for me to, all right, this looks like something that I want to be able to congregate in and actually perform some sort of business in and have maybe create an economy in. And at that point, that's where this actually needed to turn into an industry that could have some sort of automation or economic model involved other than just pure speculation. So we have developed something that we call a performing asset. A performing asset is something that literally generates you a passive income because every piece of our digital real estate is tied to a piece of physical hardware asset that's performing what's called, these are complicated terms, blockchain ledger computations and predictive computations services. So the people who buy real estate with us are supporting our entire hardware metaverse. So in a sense, it would be like if you were to buy a piece of digital real estate, you're buying a piece of a server with GoDaddy that other people are using and paying for services on. And that's when I realized when we wanted to perfect and come up with a business model like this, we need to find the best company in the industry that knew how to figure all this stuff out. Because are we going to be a security? No, we don't want to be a security. We don't want to go Wall Street. We need to find someone who specializes in creating automated products, helping people earn passive incomes, and actually is able to simplify this and get directly to a customer base or a community base that would want to take advantage of new emerging technology like this.
Kenny, I almost fainted because I have no idea what the hell you're saying.
And I almost fainted because
I'm too dumb.
I am drinking a Celsius.
I told you not to drink it.
I'm drinking a
Hold
Celsius
on.
that has niacin in it, and I
So
can feel
let's-
my testicles warming.
So
They're
let's.
hot right now.
I need it more simplified. Tell me as if I'm a baby.
Okay, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like whatever they would buy and invest. You said that it's actually doing something rather than just...
It's actually doing something.
Yeah.
So our metaverse, say Snoop Dogg, he bought into Decentraland, and it's like buying a house in a nice neighborhood. He likes it. He thinks the neighborhood's going to go up in value, and as there's more interest, that's great. But they're passing the hand around. We actually have a performing metaverse, and whenever you create something like that, that would be something that I'd consider a passive income industry or an automated income stream. And I had to find who was the best people in the industry for that. And Mike Sancho right here is known for, with the Wealth Accelerators, being the best in the state of Florida, one of the best in the entire country. Shared stage with Grant Cardone, the top people all around the industry, and I just reached out to him. I was on a podcast as a guest, and I said, Sancho, give me a call. We gotta get this moving.
Yeah. So let's say
we understand like maybe 3% of everything you're saying, including name dropping, which I don't want to ask you to not do because I think it's good, and I think it for our audience. There are people in the chat room like our guy that lives basically in the metaverse. All he does is watch our show with his goggles on, nude all day long.
Oh, there are people
he's like I'm picking down what Kenny's laying. I'm picking up what Kenny's laying down all day long. He's like I get it.
So what I don't understand is Snoop Dogg's buying real estate in the metaverse.
It all comes back to Snoop Dogg.
It always does.
And I've heard other you're buying it's all a form of NFTs, I believe, right? And using blockchain to authenticate it or make it unique, right? So that no one else can buy the same thing. Blockchain, obviously, it's actually tangible.
It's a thing.
Yeah. So anyway, is there a unified, everybody agreed upon metaverse that has a
You mean like an industry standard?
Yeah, because what I'm curious about is all right, so you're saying metaverse and you're saying a neighborhood, but what's to stop someone from selling essentially the same looking house, even though it has a different blockchain? You know what I'm saying? Like if it has to be one
virtual universe.
It becomes multiverse. Well, if there's an infinite amount of multiverses, then which one is the one that's agreed upon? Is the one
not multiverse again?
I think Mike can maybe.
Yeah, it's basically the way you want to think about it. It comes down to adoption and who's actually using it. So the way that I would describe the metaverse, to basically simplify it all and take what Kenny said and just make it real easy for a 5-year-old to understand. Basically, compare it to gaming.
Go with 3-year-old.
Yeah.
3-year-old.
Compare
compare it to gaming. You've got different online games. You've got like Call of Duty, Fortnite, World of Warcraft, right? All these online games, these online communities that millions of people go to every night. So that's the same thing with the metaverse. All these different metaverses are just different games. So the way that you build adoption is through gaming. So when a lot of people go to your metaverse, that's what's going to build value. Because if no one shows up, you're like, I have an identical neighborhood, identical metaverse. What's the difference? Well, if no one's in one and everyone's in the other,
the popularity.
That's the popularity. Okay. So the way I describe the metaverse is the same I would describe gaming. You're just immersed in the game. So if you're going to play Call of Duty every night, you go log in every night, everyone shows up every night. Same thing with the metaverse. You just throw on your goggles, you show up, and you're there. So that's the way I would simplify, like just going there.
So which is the agreed upon most popular metaverse?
So there isn't one right now, and that's where we're trying to win that race with Uphoria, because it's all about who's going to build the adoption first, and really it's going to be who brings the chicks, is what Kenny always says, because right now it's a bunch of nerds and developers in there.
So
Kenny's right with the chick thing.
Yeah. Whichever metaverse attracts the chicks.
If you want me
wins.
there,
I don't know any chicks that are into the metaverse.
Why do you think I have abandoned my goggles? I have goggles. I haven't used them since the last time we talked about it. Why do you think that? Because every time I go in there, the only place I can find chicks is when I go to POVR, which is a free porn site, and I look at it, I'm like, I see the chicks. I do what I need to do, and then I go into the Horizon room. There's 9, dudes with dreadlocks, like little kids, are yelling the N-word at me. They're grabbing my boobs. So I'm like, I'm out of here.
So
this sucks.
How much does a house cost? Like if I wanted to
buy cheaper than in Florida.
You've made Kenny mad now.
No.
He's gonna gadoosh you right out.
What's in that fanny pack? I saw you staring at it.
Yeah. Oh, he just gave himself the super serum. He's gonna punch your face off.
I know it's steroids. That's what every wrestler keeps in the
Daily
I'm
dosing.
laughing because it's true.
Well, steroids or pain pills, or both. Sorry.
You gotta
don't mix them up though.
So like, how much does a piece of real estate cost? I mean, I'm sure it's the faster you get in, the cheaper, or the earlier you get in, the cheaper it is. But it's like, does it translate like reality? Like the bigger the mansion you buy, the more expensive it costs.
That's a good question.
Or
yeah.
does it matter where it is next to? So
It's
you
next
know,
to like a digital garbage dump or something.
yeah.
Like, are there like bad parts of like the metaverse? Or I'm
Uptown,
like,
can we
yeah.
oh
relate
crap,
it?
I shouldn't be in this part of the metaverse. And then like some robot rolls up, hey dog, and I'm like, oh man,
District
you know,
9.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
they'll-
me here.
Well, I buy in the bad part of the metaverse. They'll gentrify it.
Yeah.
I built a soccer stadium next to it. Like now, it's a cool.
What'd you do? We knocked down a digital black church and we built a brewery. That's what white people
Call
with
it
beards
innovation.
do.
It's
Yeah,
called
if you're a
innovation.
white guy with a beard and you like IPAs, you knock down the black church and you put up a brewery. That's what you do.
So, how does all that work? Is there anything relatable to normal real estate that we can compare it
it's
to?
all supply and demand. Same thing. You know, like I said, when you have a lot of people adopting, it's, you know, the property value is going to go up, but it's better because it doesn't depreciate. There's no there's no wear and tear on it. It's a digital asset, so it's only going to go up in value, assuming that the adoption stays consistent within the metaverse.
And so, what
Crazy.
is there like a standard? I mean, can I buy in for?
You want a
like-
3-2? You want a 3-2 in digital Deltona?
Yeah.
Oh, which by the
Oh,
way,
man.
not good.
I want.
Can we make our own little metaverse called Digital Deltona? Because I feel like we could get a lot of people to
could.
live there. I'll be a little Miranda homes, little Mercedes homes. I'll put
little-
them up all over the place.
like 10 digital cash for gold.
Yeah, cash for gold. a couple of digital kangaroo gas stations. You know.
digital kangaroo.
Yeah. How about digital blunt wraps? Can we?
Snoop has them.
Yeah.
Got 'em.
He's
Yeah.
probably got that unlocked.
So how does that work as far as the expense of these like digital house NFTs or whatever?
So that's what we've been perfecting right now, because our digital real estate is based off of it being a performing asset. So we have a component where it's not you're asking about the value of the property.
Yeah.
So it's all community based. So when we build a high rise building or a high rise hotel that has all these cool rooms, all these cool amenities inside it, typically what you want to do is you want to find a community to adopt it first, and then you want to get the community to try to move into that area. So, for example, if we made a Tom and Dan clubhouse and condo building, and people are like, oh, I want to hang out in the Tom and Dan community, that's where people would be like, well, I want to move in his neighborhood.
Yeah, they will, because all the chicks will be there. I know it. I'll bring all the
Will
chicks.
they?
Yeah, well, I'm going to work really hard.
And
Couple of old grandmas.
and then so the more popular it is, the more it gains value and stuff. But like, if say we bought a Tom and Dan clubhouse, all right, so. And do you design how the hell does someone design it and then sell it to us, or do we say what we want and then we have someone design it, then we pay for it?
Yeah.
How
More
does it work?
marble.
It goes both ways. You know, it's traditional construction. Sometimes people come to us with actual blueprints and they say, hey, this is what I want my house to look like in real life, or this is what my house looks like in real life. Can you make it in
That's
the
cool.
3-dimensional world? And I'm just like, yeah, give us your prints. And we can just go off of the CAD design and make it like that. Or sometimes people submit us photos that they like. I mean, it all depends.
Is it instantaneous, or do you have to wait like you would a conventional home, or is it like?
It's faster. It's faster.
I mean, it's much faster. There's no permitting, obviously.
Yeah, I
but
didn't know if you did. Like, I didn't know if you
Yeah,
tried to mimic that.
Yeah, what are the
to-
rules in the metaverse?
Yeah, I mean,
is
like,
there an
No
HOA?
rules.
There are
no
no
rules.
No
That's why we
rules.
love
Wait a
it.
minute.
See,
I don't
Crazy.
even get real permits in the real
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
yeah.
I would probably like an HOA because I don't want. What kind of assurances?
You want digital
can you-
HOA?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I want.
You're not gonna have to mow your lawn.
Do I
want-
need digital
It's
home
okay.
insurance?
Well, I want Mike and Kenny to guarantee me if I bought the Tom and Dan Clubhouse in, Uphoria, whatever we're doing here. I don't want, somebody I don't like, unsavory character moving in next to me with their clubhouse, right?
We're actually having to fit. We're having to address zoning already. That is something that's coming up as a concern, because the Central Land didn't do that, where people bought all the property around Snoop Dogg's house and started trolling them. Someone put up a giant dildo.
Thank you, Kenny. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You
You're
guys
not
think
sold
I'm
on
an
the metaverse
idiot.
yet?
You guys think I'm an idiot, but guess who who had his thumb on the digital dildo? I did. I knew that was coming.
You called it.
I buy like buying property next to Snoop Dogg
Digital
house,
dildo.
and then I'm putting a giant dildo in my front yard.
Ultimate flex.
What's happening? So what is how
Called
much?
evolution.
How much does it cost though? It's like I want Tom and Dan Clubhouse.
What's your square footage?
Like, does it get to be
3,000 square feet.
3,000? Well, hold on. I want something more impressive. It's
But you always say you don't need that. When you're talking real houses, you're like, I don't need that.
Well, in real life, this is my digital life. I want some grandiose, insane.
Digital boy Tom's
I
a
know.
fancy boy.
Yeah, I know. He's crazy.
I want to build the original, what we talked about in our studio.
the
Here,
bar?
a 17-story mansion.
Okay.
With
a helicopter
Starbucks.
pad on
Yeah,
the top.
helicopter
Yeah,
pad.
all
You want to go big. It
Can
can
you
be.
fly from house to house? You can.
Yeah.
Yes, you
I
can.
like how Mike's like, oh yeah.
You do it. You do whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Flying all around. I'll be taking
I
a
thought you meant
take a
plane.
crap on the dildo. I just flew over to Snoop Dogg's house. I took a crap on the dildo and I flew back. Where are the chicks at?
So yeah. What's the cost of all this?
So typically you figure out what's the cost as far as for the actual getting the computer graphic artist to actually design out the building, and you estimate the hours. So that can be anywhere from, if it's something standard, a couple $100 to a couple thousand, depending on how grand they go with the design. And then after that, we just look at the lot space and we sit down, we consult with the client, and we say, hey, what's your risk factor you're trying to have with this? Because that's what we're trying to really have be a key component of our metaverse compared to others. We're tying it to that performing asset technology to stabilize it, because we don't want people to just decide, I want to go to this neighborhood, and everyone just drops in price. We have our property literally pays people a return monthly off of the performance of the network.
Interesting. More people are there, better performance.
More people, better performance.
Yeah, so so it's almost skin in the game. Yeah.
Why do people
I
go
can
there?
understand this more than most.
So we got an Oculus in there that we bought, and
Don't turn it on until I check it for you. Just saying.
it smells like a pinch of penny inside.
All I'm saying is when those things turn off, they turn off, and you might be in the middle of things.
So how? I mean,
These handles are slippery.
how do you get people or attract people to a particular metaverse? Like, do you have to offer some sort of entertainment, or you have
Making money. A lot of people are there to make money.
So, but
Yeah.
but I'm saying to visit there. Like, if I
Yeah.
put on the Oculus and I go to the Tom and Dan Clubhouse, how do I get our listeners to come to the Tom and
We're
Dan
going to
Clubhouse?
have Digital Sam sitting there behind a table, and she's like, if you want to buy, sign up here. It's not you, it's Digital Sam.
Right.
You got the weirdo fans that want to.
But you are
they
new.
want to see you. They want to be next to you and like get real.
Oh, so I have
close
to
you
be
and
there?
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well, god damn.
We're in different
Well,
places.
can it be anybody? Can I just
Yeah.
hire? Because then I don't have to do it, right? I can just hire Mike B to be
you-
there,
you-
right?
You
Like,
can put your
pretend to be
Oculus,
me.
just put your Oculus
That's
on
what
a homeless
interns are
man and
for.
let him wave. Yeah, don't say a word, but wave your hands up and down.
Or you put it on your dog like a ppm meter,
Yeah.
and then you have it walk around.
Let Tommy wear it.
Yeah. Like,
Tom's short and crapping on the carpet. Yeah, that'll work.
Is it just like, how do you get people there?
Well, so that's one of the first things we actually did was had a comedian, Adam Hunter, popular with the UFC, and he's on Star Trek now randomly.
Nice.
He got casted.
Uh-huh.
We just did it. We wanted to see if we could actually draw an audience to the metaverse, and we ran a test show there and had some of our members log on, wanted to see how people could interact with avatars, and he just roasted people for about an hour straight. And they had fun, but what was unique about it was they had an experience. They were all sitting at home on their couch with their VR headsets or on their laptops if they wanted to log on that way. But if you asked them, did you watch a show or did you go to a show? They felt more like they went to a show than they watched a show. And that's a big thing that's happening with the metaverse. That's a big step that you guys have had since you've gone to go with web streaming and
Sure.
with the chats going live.
And they can participate.
they're participating right
Yeah,
now.
they're
typing to you.
Yeah.
Well, the Oculus.
You don't want to see what they're saying.
I know.
No, I understand. Like the psychology behind putting on the VR headset.
It's more of an experience.
It is like when I'm standing in the lobby and I
Yeah.
have the VR headset and you're in, and you take it off. It does feel like, whoa, like now I'm back to reality as opposed to I was somewhere else. Like, it does trick your brain. Like, I totally get that. I'm just curious of, like, when you're creating this community, like, do people go, if there's not a show going on, do people just visit it because there's multiple houses? Are there other things to do? Is there like always a reason to go?
They could do anything. Like, we have like battle royale arenas, so they can do like player versus player games and like shoot each other. They can go around, drive cars. Like, think of like going into like Grand Theft Auto and like going around shooting people, doing stuff, playing games.
And then you have your house there.
You could go to the mall. You could shop there in the meta malls and buy NFTs and skins and all that stuff.
Can somebody break into my house?
Ooh, great question.
If you gave them your password.
Okay.
Oh,
could they be standing outside my digital daughter's bedroom window, like peeking in, and then I sneak out the back with a lead pipe and I beat their skull flat?
Oh, that's like
We'll hook
neighbor.
you up with that mod.
I'm just saying, that's what I would do. That's definitely what I would do.
I think it's so hard for people to comprehend because all they can
is.
relate it to is reality, right? So then, like, when you're thinking a digital community, it's just like, all right, I relate it to our real community. And so then it's like, okay, I'm walking around what looks like my real community.
I'm going to get my ears pierced at Digital Piercing Pagoda in the mall.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, it's definitely better to kill time than what I do now, which is just to flip through news and get scared.
And then is like, could you essentially buy up a large amounts of digital assets to own a huge portion of this digital community, and therefore your hope is that it accumulates or goes up in value?
Yeah, you can do that to make a lot of money, and also, like, you could be like a traditional landlord. Like, if you owned a lot of property or a lot of commercial property, because a lot of these corporate companies, these big corporate companies, are coming into the metaverse because they save so much money by going virtual and moving to these virtual boardrooms instead of these, sky-rise office suites that they have to pay tons for. They're able to cut out that cost. And same for like retail brick and mortar stores, because they're only limited to their geolocation. So people are only going to come so far to shop at your store. But when you have that virtual storefront, now you can take people from everywhere across the entire world. So it's a lot easier, and they're able to make a lot more money. But the thing where people are going to make the most money, we're going to be talking about it next week. We're having an event. They could go to www.wealthsummit.com. Wealthsummit.com. And we're going to be talking about how you can monetize in the metaverse and how you can actually take these concepts that we're talking about, get these NFTs, these digital properties, turn it into boatloads of passive income. Because at the end of the day, that's why I'm there. I'm there to make money. I'm not going to live in a digital world forever, but I like to go in there, play and game around and do things. But for a lot of people, they're there to generate passive income because that's going to give them freedom to do what they want in the real world. So it's merging that digital world with the real world. But mostly people are going there for entertainment and to make money.
I love passive income. Because
Who
it's
doesn't?
my favorite type of income because you don't have to do anything.
I like it so passive that I forget about it. Yeah, it's like finding $5 in an old suit, and you're like, I haven't worn this since that funeral, and you
a little better than that.
I hate
there's money in there.
I hate the type of
$5.
the type of income you have to work hard for is the worst. Like, what? Oh God! Like after too much.
He gets mad about it.
When is Bitcoin going back up? Because my wife is pissed.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, well, because you probably told her it was a sure thing, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what Bitcoin Billy told me.
You got to get Kirk back in.
And
Kirk
then
Bonacci?
now it's it took
I
a
think
dump.
Bonacci even bailed on NFTs and Bitcoin.
I think so.
No.
Because we saw him over at Publix,
He got away from
and
us
he
fast.
was Mr. Analog, and he's like, no digital here. And he was like, out of there, man.
So just in time,
Tomorrow. It's going up.
Is it difficult for you guys when you're like, I think we're all about this, relatively the same age. I'm probably old dude here. Is it hard for you guys to, like, because I always, when I look at all of this, like when you were talking about like digital boardroom, right?
Yeah.
It would be extremely difficult for, now my mom and dad are dead, but my dad's been dead for a long time. It would be damn near impossible for me to, and he was an over the road salesperson, very high in his company and a very respected salesperson. If I told him he had to put on the goggles and go to the digital boardroom for the meeting, there's no way it would happen, right? And I'm trying to be very serious about it. Not even funny.
Old.
Yeah, it's too old. Is there a sweet spot of age for you guys? Or are you finding that old people are even like, well, this is probably what I'm going to have to do if things are changing. I'm going to have to start to
some
understand
old people,
this stuff.
but it's like a natural, as time goes. If you look at the young kids, they live in VR. All these kids, they're just on it constantly. So over time, it'll be like that, but I'm assuming for old people, they're not going to adopt really, but there's still some people. I mean, we have 80-year-olds in the metaverse.
I'll take the over because everyone think about the first iPhone compared to today's
Correct,
iPhone.
yeah.
How quickly that happened, how fast that snuck up.
Right.
It's amazing. The moment YouPorn was on iPhones, everybody seemed to magically have one.
Right, that's true. That's true. Right in your pocket.
That's how they built the adoption.
Everybody wants to say he's wrong, but he's right. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel bad.
So you have the metaverse, which right now is full of a bunch of programmers, nerds with a lot of extra income and from their mom's basements who were early adopters of technology. It's only a matter of time till the entrepreneurial entertainment segment figures out there's a lot of guys that are going to be really easy for us to fleece, even easier than our OnlyFans accounts used to be. I'm betting on the adoption coming. Give it one more Christmas. It's on.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like nerds like working in their computers in their mom's basement has been a stereotype for a long time.
And it's not going to change.
But hold on, because think about now everything's off your iPhone or your laptop.
So
whatever.
your basement's anywhere.
Well, yeah, you don't need to have like some place where you have towers or computer. I guess maybe with more computing power, you still need the towers. Is that how it
If
works?
you're like mining it, I know you do. I know you need some pretty sophisticated, or at least
serious server.
Yeah, you need some serious server space for stuff like that. Even for what we do, like our servers aren't here. Our servers are in Georgia. Which kind of instrumental when we were possibly being sued because I'm like, not out of Orlando, we're out of Atlanta. It's just better to be able to say those sort of things. So it's all super duper interesting. Yeah, I always, you guys are the closest I've come to having somebody sit and calmly explain it to me where I'm like, okay, I can see how people could make money on this. I may not be all in on it yet, but at least I understand the attraction. I get it.
Yeah. I don't. I just don't understand.
Well, anything where people want to make money is what I'm saying. Like, if there's a way to make money here, then people are going to be there.
Yeah. My whole thing is, and I, I get the escape part of it, and totally believe in the psychology of human beings wanting to escape. Like we're all here to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I buy in on that, and I believe 100% that we're going to be closer to a VR virtual world in 20 years than not. It's like this technology is just going to get more and more ingrained into our society, and more people are going to use it as an escape and live a more digital life. That makes sense to me. It's just where it all fleshes out. But this is the beginning of it. Like, obviously, there are people that have bought in and people are buying NFT properties and digital assets and stuff that
it's a lot of gamers and crypto nerds. Like, to you, if you may not game a lot, but these kids that spend 20 hours a day gaming, those are all the people that are going to be in there. So even if you're not in there and you're not, I'm not going to go live this digital life, you can be an investor in it and you don't have to participate in it. But it's like knowing all these kids, all these gamers are going to go and they're going to, it's going to be a huge exodus into there.
Well, Mike and Kenny, plug the website one more time,
please.
Yeah. www.wealthsummit.com. We have an event all next weekend. We're going to be talking about crypto, NFTs, the metaverse, how to make money in real estate, logistics, trucking, e-com, everything. We got Marcus Lemonis, Damon John, Elena Cardone, Roland Frazier, and Kevin Harrington. So we got a couple of sharks.
Yeah.
Got the CEO of Camping World, a couple $1 billion speakers. It's going to be a blast. And if you guys want to get your ticket for cheap, I'm going to drop a discount code for you, courtesy of the Tom and Dan Show. So you can use 50GA as your promo code. That's going to get you 50% off. All we have is general admission left, so it's going to be $125. Come learn how to make money in the metaverse.
There you go.
I want to talk to the CEO of Camping World and ask him, Mike, do you think the stadium sponsorship was a good
Successful.
thing? Like,
ask
how
him.
do you
know what
track
he said?
that?
He's like, it is. I love the Citrus Bowl. That's what he'll say.
How much, like, because that's
Even he calls it the Citrus Bowl, I bet.
millions of dollars a year, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how?
By the way, I can't think
you
of a more
translate-
horrible world than Camping World. No, it's a joke. It's a joke because camping sucks. It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't.
Can you quantify this at all? Is there like any way to be like,
UCF, they just got a big sponsorship for their stadium, right?
FBC.
Yeah, they make me so sad, UCF. I was going to save this for Friday, but they did it. They flew a drone over the stadium, and we're both graduates from UCF, so I feel like I'm qualified to be able to say this to UCF. There's nothing more embarrassing than when you do a drone shot of the stadium and then painted on the top it says the National Championship, 2017 National Championship, like we're the winners. We're not.
Yes, we are.
No, that's
they
not
painted it on the stadium.
It's on there.
We don't follow facts in Florida.
Well, that's
I think
Alright,
the NCAA actually acknowledges it, but like, wasn't it Clemson? It's Clemson, right?
It wasn't UCF.
It wasn't UCF.
Right. So why did we paint it there? Doesn't that make us look like doofuses?
Yes.
I don't want that on my stadium. And I want to support them as a football team, but I don't know if I can go to the bounce house and look up and then they painted a giant false truth.
Everybody's trolling.
I believe.
It's you just you put it there.
We believe.
I mean,
and
but
you're
it's,
like, look at
isn't
this.
it just a constant reminder of how rinky-dink we are?
There's got to be some marketing reason where like people really grabbed a hold of this, and then like our fans.
I think it
wanna
looks
do
stupid.
We beat Bama. That's all that matters. We won.
Well, Kenny, Mike, thanks so much for
thank
coming
you
in. I
guys so much
appreciate
for
it.
the
Thank you for having
time,
us.
guys.
Guys, thank you.
We'll be right back with more corporate time.